The War Council chamber of the Veiltheri Dominion smelled of ionized victory, or so Supreme General Kael'zer believed, as he stood before the holographic display and watched 2,000 warships arrange themselves in perfect formation at the edge of humanity's solar system. "They are a young species," Kael'zer said, his six-fingered hand sweeping across the projection like a god dismissing a cloud. "Barely 3 centuries out of their caves. They discovered faster than light travel 40 years ago, 40 years, and now they believe themselves our equals." His officers murmured their agreement. Commander Wa, fleet tactician and Kael'zer's most decorated strategist, zoomed the display to Earth. A pale blue dot, fragile and ignorant, spinning in the dark. "Their fleet numbers 94 vessels," Wa said. "We have brought 2,417. General Hai, the eldest among them, veteran of 32 planetary conquests, leaned forward and clicked his mandibles softly. "Then why do I feel uneasy?" No one answered. No one wanted to. On the bridge of the USCS Unyielding, Admiral Darian Voss stood with her hands clasped behind her back, watching the alien armada appear on every sensor screen simultaneously. 2,000 ships. The number should have broken something inside her. Instead, it sharpened her. "Report," she said. Lieutenant Joe, her youngest tactical officer, spoke without looking up from his console. 2,417 confirmed vessels, Admiral. Ranging from destroyer class to something we have no classification for. 3 vessels alone are larger than our moon. Ensign Me, Communications, pressed her headset tighter. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Admiral. It's a surrender demand. They're giving us 6 hours. 6 hours." Voss almost smiled. "They're being generous." Specialist New York, Propulsion and Engineering, glanced up from her station with something that was not quite fear and not quite excitement. "Admiral, I've finished the calculation on the gravity lens array. If we position the relay buoys exactly as I mapped them, it will work," Voss said. "Not a question." New York hesitated. "It should work. Within a 14% margin of." "It will work," Voss said again, quieter this time. "More certain." Navigator Dai pulled up the star chart, already annotated in red and gold. "Positioning window opens in 4 hours and 11 minutes. If they attack before then." "They won't." Voss turned to face her crew. 94 ships. Humans, every one of them. Terrified, perhaps. But working. Thinking. That was the thing about humans. They never stopped thinking. The Veiltheri study their enemies before they destroy them. They'll spend the first 4 hours running scans, categorizing our ships, calculating their odds. She paused. "Let them calculate." Supreme General Kael'zer received the scan results and felt his unease deepen. "What are they doing?" he asked. Commander was stared at the data. "They are rearranging. Small ships positioning buoys at precise coordinates throughout the system. It seems," he paused. "It seems almost ritualistic. Perhaps a cultural tradition before battle? A funeral preparation?" General Hai said nothing. He was watching the human formation the way a predator watches something it does not recognize. With respect. Kael'zer checked the clock. 5 hours, 22 minutes since the ultimatum. They have ignored our deadline. "Yes," said Wa. "Then we advance." The order rippled outward at the speed of light, and 2,417 ships began to move. "They're coming," Joe said. Voss checked the timer. 4 minutes until the positioning window. "All ships, hold formation. Do not fire. Do not retreat." The alien armada was vast enough to eclipse the sun. On the view screen, it looked like a second galaxy, cold and mechanical, bearing down on the pale blue dot it intended to own. "Admiral," Dai said, voice tight. 90 seconds. The first alien volleys fired. Kael'zer opened with his tertiary guns, a warning, in Veiltheri tradition. Enough to wound, not to kill. A demonstration of scale. 3 human ships vanished. Voss didn't flinch. Hold. They're targeting our relay buoys, New York said sharply. They've identified them as? 60 seconds, Dai cut in. A 4th ship gone. Then a 5th. Ensign Me was white-knuckled at her console. Admiral. Hold. The alien armada filled the system now, spreading across every sensor, every window, every human eye that dared to look. It was the end of the world wearing the shape of ships. Window, Dai said. New York, Voss said simply. Specialist New York hit the activation sequence. Kael'zer saw it happen, and did not understand it until it was already done. The relay buoys, scattered throughout the solar system in patterns his tacticians had dismissed as random, ignited simultaneously. They weren't weapons. They weren't bombs. They were lenses, gravitational focusing arrays that bent and redirected the output of the star at their center with surgical precision. The sun moved. Not literally. But its gravity well shifted, redirected, concentrated through the relay network into a corridor that ran straight through the heart of the Veiltheri formation. 2,000 ships began to drift. Trajectories collapsed. Navigation systems failed as calculated gravity became something else entirely. Ships that had held perfect formation for 600 years of conquest found themselves tumbling, colliding, spiraling into one another in a cascade that no battle computer had ever been programmed to handle. Kael'zer watched his armada destroy itself. He watched it for 47 minutes. Commander Wu was silent. General Hai had closed his eyes. When it was over, 2,416 ships were gone, debris, wreckage, silence. 1 ship remained. Kael'zer's flagship. Left deliberately, Kael'zer realized with creeping horror. Left deliberately, because the humans had calculated exactly which ship would survive, and they had chosen the one carrying the Supreme General. A message came through on every channel. It was Admiral Darian Voss. She looked tired. She did not look afraid. Go home, she said. Tell them what you saw. Not what you planned, not what you expected, what you saw. And when whoever comes next asks you what humanity is, tell them this: we didn't destroy your fleet. We let your fleet destroy itself. We just changed the math. She paused. We're good at that. Kael'zer made the journey home alone. In his debriefing before the High Council of the Veiltheri Dominion, he was asked many questions. What weapons did the humans use? What was the range of their gravity lens arrays? How quickly could they be replicated? How large was their fleet, truly? He answered none of them. He answered only the final question, the one the eldest counselor asked in a quiet voice, late in the session, when the formal record had been suspended. What are humans? Kael'zer was silent for a long time. Then he said, they are the only species I have encountered that did not fear us. He thought of Voss. Of her crew, Joe at his console, me at communications, New York with her impossible calculations, Dai tracing trajectories through a changing sky, Hai's stillness, was disbelief. They did not fear us, he said again, because they were too busy thinking. The council chamber was very quiet. Then we do not go back, someone asked. Kael'zer looked out at the stars. At the small corner of the galaxy where a pale blue dot spun, unhurried and unsurrendered. We do not go back, he said. On Earth, Admiral Darian Voss filed her after-action report, requested maintenance on 6 surviving vessels, and went home to sleep for 14 hours. When she woke, there was a message from the Joint Defense Council. They wanted to know if the gravity lens array could be made permanent. She wrote back, already working on it. Humanity, as always, was already working on it.